Oh no, I wasn't gonna do it, Joel.
What's going on, brother Keith?
I wasn't gonna do it. I'm running for president. I'm running for president. Turns out my dad didn't want me. Oh my goodness sakes. If there wasn't for me, there wouldn't have been any Smack and Jack, Joel. Oh Lord. Oh, well,
You
anyway.
are full of truth, my friend.
Can we get past this bad situation and vote for me in November?
So tell us, Keith. The only reason why I know anything about what you're doing right now is because Stephanie mentioned something yesterday. What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing. Apparently, we've got somebody else running for a presidency. We have a reality TV show guy running the country now. Now apparently we're going to have a rap star running the country. So who is apparently more bipolar than the guy that's in there now. So
only people with no experience and the most qualifications, right? Is who we
need. Yes, that's exactly what we need to get us out of this bind that is 2020. Good morning, Joel. What's going on?
How's it going, brother Keith?
We got tons of stuff to talk about. Let's go to our introduction. And got your coffee?
You know what? I do today. I ran downstairs and got my coffee just for this occasion.
All right. Well, sit back, relax, and enjoy a half hour of fun. We will be right back.
And here we go.
From the Somerset Studios in Westchester, Pennsylvania, it's Smack and Jack Live with your co-hosts Keith and Joel Slenderman.
Jack up your income, smacked it in the face.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning. Hey, Joe, Tara, how are you? Patty, Jim, how is everybody doing this lovely morning? Joel, what's going on?
Thanks for being with us. Hey, Keith. Got home last night. Stephanie and I went down to Target, got back, and got out of the car, and the rear wheel of my car was smoking. Literally smoking.
What? Now this is your car?
It was my car, yeah. So I had inspection 2 weeks ago, and new brakes on the back. And I've always detected since then like a little smell, new brakes. I thought, a little smell, whatever.
Right.
But it was like smoking. So set up another appointment, of course. What do you think that is? Think I got something locking up in there?
What do you have? Drums in the back or discs?
I believe they're drums. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be drums. Or you looked at the wheel. I mean, the tire itself wasn't rubbing anything.
I don't think so. I'm not really sure. I did get under there because there's so much smoke. I was like, man, better make sure there's no little flame going on.
Yeah.
So about an hour later, our air conditioner comes on, and I just hear a. Now this is the house air conditioner. I go outside, and the big fan's not running. The compressor fan that's outside.
Yeah.
So shut it down for the night, which was fine. Went out there this morning, and I was able to put basically a little stick in there to get it started. So it's been running since. It did that about 2 years ago, and a guy said we're on our last hurrah with this particular unit. And but I did discover that it's called the capacitor that starts the fan. It's like a dual capacitor that.
Actually, that's a flux capacitor, Joel.
That's right, and it takes us back to a year other than 2020, right?
Yes, that is correct.
But anyway, the fix looks like it's actually inexpensive, so I might end up doing that one myself if we get a couple more years out of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You didn't get that replaced before you just got it worked on. I remember. I thought you had some of it replaced.
Yeah, the house air conditioner we've had just checked up. That's basically it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So, yeah. Try to fix yourself. If you can get a couple more years out of it, do it. Today, for me, is laundry day. I'm about 3.5 weeks in.
All
And
right.
my good old motorcycle shirt that I wore. Why is it that when you don't, I'm down to the part of the pile that I haven't worn in some time because I just throw stuff on top so I grabbed this old guy out from my motorcycle days, and it smells like I've been wearing it since I last wore it. Why is that, Joel?
I think maybe you're taking it from the wrong pile.
No. It was all folded up nicely. It's just kind of musty,
Yeah, just
It's like you got to wash stuff every once in a while, even if it is clean. And I don't like doing laundry anyway, so
yeah, it's soaking up the moisture and.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, when you do laundry, if you don't, I don't know if this is your case or not, but if you don't get it right into the dryer, like pretty quickly, it starts smelling musty, and you can't get rid of that until you wash it again.
Yes, I used to when we had the house. I used to do that. Put the laundry in the morning, come home, put it in the dryer, and it's like this stuff stinks. Yeah, I can't do that either. So anyway,
all right, Keith, I got a little post for you here.
Okay.
And then we can say hello to some more of our people jumping on here.
Yes.
See some of the comments.
MGS.
This beginning post here is actually for our viewers to chime in on. All right, so let me make sure I have it ready to go. Okay. And this is a scenario post. And I'll tell you what that means in just a minute. All right, you see my screen here, Keith?
Those guys again.
Yeah. I kept that picture. I just thought I'd use that for our introductory. Okay. So.
Oh.
Which scenario, Keith, really happened? Now, believe it or not, this is a picture of my leg.
I thought. Now, this is kind of a sensitive topic, but I thought cutters did it on their here, not like
I found the ankles a better, just above the ankles, a bit better. But anyway. So this is my leg just above my ankle, believe it or not. It looks like most people's forearm. I do agree. But Keith and everybody else, I need for you to chime in. How did I get these scratches on my leg? Okay. How did I get these scratches? And I'll give you 3 different scenarios. You tell us which scenario really happened.
Okay.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay. So I was cutting the grass the other day, right down front. You know where our forsythia is?
Yeah.
There's a lot of there's actually a lot of dead in there, which kind of covered up by the living forsythia. So the dead gets really brittle, really kind of sharp. So I was cutting the grass the other day and pulling the lawnmower back. It just kind of caught me there while I was doing right down there on the corner where you parked your truck that day.
Right.
Okay, so that's our scenario number 1. The next possible scenario is this one here. All right, we just finished up working on a porch, which we're going to talk about later. As I was working on that screen door, there was a part that I had to sand off and sand. What I did not realize was that there was a nail still left over that I didn't pull out yet on the bottom part. Also, and when I let the screen door shut, bam.
Also plausible. Okay.
Okay. And then number 3 possible scenario is a big fluffy cat named Lola. She and I were doing a little rough housing downstairs in the family room, and she said, "I'm going to scratch Joel a little bit here." Okay, so Keith, we're going to come back to this.
Okay.
We're going to come back to this one. Everybody else, chime in. Which one do you think really happened? Scenario number 1: cutting the grass in the near the forsythia down front along the street. Which I have to say, forsythia is not my favorite, but we have it.
I don't like it at all. It is probably my least favorite. Forsythia grows about 29 feet a year.
It does. It's really pretty early in the spring with all the yellow on it.
For how long, Joel? 2-3 days, maybe?
Maybe. And then after that, it's a really bad hairdo, right?
Yep.
Okay, number 2. Just finishing up our porch, working on screen door the other day. And I let the screen door shut behind me and zam, right across my ankle there. Or number 3, big fluffy cat named Lola. Okay, so you chime in. Which one of those scenarios is true? And we're going to come back to that, okay, Keith? We'll come back.
All righty. Let's let that marinate a little bit, as they say.
All right, you know what? Since we are screen sharing, Keith, you did a project. Let me pull up that project. Let's go back to my present here. You did a project for one of our viewers, and whoops, get through this. And a good friend of mine, Patty Davis, and this is the finished product. Does that look familiar,
Very
Keith?
nice. Yes, it is.
You want to tell us a little bit about this one?
Well, Patty actually did the hard work. This is a needle point that she actually did, and that's a lot of work. But she had already stretched it on the foam board, which is a job in itself. And she brought it in to me, and we put a frame on it. Looked at a bunch of things, and I think the frame that had that little notching on it kind of looked like the frets on the guitar and that sort of thing. We put spaced it a little bit, so there's a little bit of breathing air in between the glass and the material there. And did we put non-glare glass? I think we might have put non-glare, non-reflective, anti-reflective glass on there. So that's all archival stuff. It'll last a lifetime.
Yeah, that's really nice. I really like the artwork, the stick.
Yes. Yes.
And that's called Guitar Sunset Landscape. And I guess Patty is Art to See. Is that kind of like a company that kind of puts these kits together and then you go ahead and take care of it. But it's a guitar with a sunset, and you see trees. You see kind of like a little city or a little town or something like that. And I think that's really a great job with both of you guys. I mean, everything works really well together.
Fun working with it. And I was happy to get the work. So thank you, Patty.
Yeah, awesome, great job, guys. Just wanted to highlight that because Patty posted that, and I thought, how about we, just highlight that. Let's see, highlight that on our show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So well done, folks. All right, let's say hello to some people here. Keith.
Joy, Tara, Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey, happy Christmas in July, Joe says. It's Christmas in July.
Today is.
I always thought it sounds better than June. Because that's halfway through I always thought June should have been Christmas, but then you can't have Christmas in July in June. So Christmas in June doesn't sound as good.
It would not make sense, right? But I do agree. I always thought that June 25th did make more sense, but
I don't know why, because it's in the middle of the
yeah.
So, but anyway.
Okay, so Burbricks is on. Hey, Burbricks. MGS Hyper, you're on. Where you could identify car parts and photos, they actually had flux capacitor as if it was a real car part.
That's great.
That's funny.
Good.
That's funny. Okay, we see. Hey, Tara, we see some messages coming in for our scenarios. Stay tuned for the scenario. Find out what happened there. See, we have some new comments down here. Okay. All right, and thanks, Patty. Yes, it's a company. They sell designs. Okay, so that's what we thought.
Okay, nice.
All right, awesome. So, Keith, let's first off, let me hide this one. There we go. Keith, finished up our porch this week.
Oh, do we have pictures of that? Yes.
I'm talking about, and I have some pictures to show from that, and a couple things that we needed to go over, or needed to repair. So, you ready to see some of those pics, Keith?
Yeah, bring them on. Your quarantine project.
Share. What's that?
Your quarantine project. We're still kind of in quarantine here. Haven't seen you guys in goodness sakes since February, I think. Yeah, it's still, that's your quarantine project.
Yes. All right. So let's see. What do we have here? Let's go to this one here. It's kind of our quarantine project. More so a quarantine / summer, since we we had the time and we didn't go anywhere, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So. All right. So
look at that.
Yeah, as usual, Keith, this is like kind of the before pictures. I can never get myself to take completely before.
Yes. Well,
I always think of it about halfway through.
Right. You get excited to start on the job and all that stuff.
Yeah. So then always about a quarter of the way through, I take some pictures. So anyway, this is kind of at the beginning stage. You can see the floor is kind of ugly. By this point, we had taken off all the screens. My original thought was not to take off the screens, but once we started painting, it made sense to take all the screen off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So here's the floor. This is what the floor looked like. Ugly. I had already power washed it by this point. but you have to scrape all the loose paint off. So, scrape all the way around, scrape all the loose paint. And that's a couple hours in itself. You see there on the left, Keith, you see the post that I have there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So notice the rot at the bottom.
Is that what that is? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have some close-ups here. Let's see. 4 of the posts were rotted like this. So we had a dilemma. Do we completely replace the posts, or do we repair them? So we decided to repair, and we repaired with wood Bondo. I don't know if you've ever used this. I probably told you about this, right?
Yeah, you did tell me about it.
Okay, so on the left here, you take the first thing you do. This is like kind of a liquid sealer. So with this little brush here, you need to paint all the rotted areas. Okay, scrape all the rot out first, and then you paint on all the rotted areas. Okay, all the way around. And you put on about 5 or 6 coats of that, which is not too difficult because it dries in about 2 to 3 minutes. So you just kind of keep doing it.
Okay, good.
Let it sit for a few hours. And then on the right here, this is where you take the wood filler. Now this stuff here has got quite an odor to it. And it's kind of it's almost like the consistency of the caramel topping that you get at Dairy Queen. You ever get the peanut butter or the caramel topping at Dairy Queen?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like exactly the same thing, except for it really smells bad. So you take this and you mix it. Up on top here is a little tube of hardener. So once you put the hardener into the wood filler, you're doing this on a little piece of wood, a scrap wood, right?
Okay.
Once you put it together, you have about 3 minutes to get it into where you're working with. Otherwise, it starts hardening up and you can't use it anymore.
Wow.
So it's you gotta work with it pretty quickly. So anyway, that's what I did. And here are the posts.
Wow, really nice.
Okay, so obviously this is a little bit further along. I didn't take a picture immediately after, but the post that you were looking at with all the rot, that's these 2 right here. So at the bottom, I filled it all with that wood filler. As you can see, that line right there is where the wood filler goes to.
Right.
Okay. All right. So here's another picture of a post. And this is what it looks like now.
Very nice, Joel.
Okay. So
yeah.
I probably used a little bit more of that stuff than I needed to because it's the first time I was using it. But it actually came out pretty well. And you sand the heck out of it. And you can kind of shape it just the way you need it to.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So that went along pretty well. All right. What was another thing?
Before we go, the 2x4s on the decking, are they new or did you just replace them?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that for a minute. So this is new. Yeah, you saw back here that I had to remove. See there on the right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. See in this picture here, Keith?
Took them all off. Yeah.
All the 2x, those were complete. For most of them, they were completely rotted. And I was able to just pull them up off the floor, and the screws are still on the floor, right? You see them there?
Right, yes. Mm-hmm.
So we special ordered the cedar 2x4s.
Okay.
Did you know, Keith, that these 2x4s are almost 2x4?
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about throwing another little,
Yeah.
Now look at where the 2x4 meets up to the post.
You kind of have it sticking out on the outside
Exactly.
of the house a little bit. Yeah,
Right. It's bigger than all of the other lumber we have on this project. So all those floor pieces stick out a little bit. And I didn't have a table saw, to rip them.
Yeah.
And, we thought about calling you actually, but I thought, man, I need to have time to do that and me take them over, bring them back. And anyway, so we just fudged it.
Yeah. I've never seen in my lifetime real 2x4s. I didn't think they even made them anymore.
When I got them home and I sized them up to the 2x4s that we already have on the porch, I was like, you're kidding me. Yeah. So those 2x4s were like, they were $90 for 4 of them.
Yeah, I believe it, cedar.
And we were 1 piece short because I measured out everything. But what I did not take into account was the scrap. you know.
Right.
When you cut all these boards, you end up with scrap that I measured, but I didn't account.
Part of your, yes.
Exactly. So I was one piece short. So we found another piece and put down, which is a regular 2x4. And anyway. Okay. So Patty, if you're, yeah, Patty's on. Patty asked me a couple of weeks ago, I said that the tap cons weren't going in. Keith, you know what a tap con is, right?
I do now. Well, no.
Okay. So a tap con is just a brand name of a screw or an anchor that you can put right into concrete.
Okay.
Okay. And that's how we fasten down these pieces of wood. If you notice here, this is the old screw. That's the old tap con there.
Right.
So what you need to do is down here in the lower right, you see there's 2 holes because my one tap con broke. So I had to drill another hole.
Right.
So you drill the hole, and before you put your screw into that hole, you need to make sure you vacuum it out. You need to blow the debris out with a compressor, as I discovered. And then I put a little silicone grease on it, or oil. Because when you start screwing down into concrete, as you can imagine, it becomes real, a lot of friction.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't get all that dust out of there from the drilling, which is what happened, I vacuumed all the holes out, but that wasn't nearly enough to get all the dust out of there.
Wow, no kidding.
So as I was putting those screws in, they started breaking on me, and man, that was frustrating. So I had to, that's why this one has 2 holes. So I had to drill another hole in the wood, another hole in the concrete to put in my new screw. Okay, so Tapcon is just the name, a brand name of a screw that you can put in the concrete.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so that was just another little roadblock. So, we're talking about sanding everything. We painted the ceilings. We scraped and sanded not sand, but we scraped the floor, power washing, taking the screens off, putting the screens back up, painting, priming, blah, blah, blah. So
and you had some help on this, and
yes, Stephanie and I were doing pretty much sharing the work. Yeah,
great.
And this is our pretty much finished product. There's a couple little things I need to do.
Great, Joe. Really good.
We don't have any rug or furniture in there yet because after you paint the floor, they say you need to wait about 30 days to put anything on it because it's still very tacky. So at this point, it's feeling pretty good, but we haven't put anything in there yet. So,
what kind of paint did you use on the?
Benjamin Moore Porch deck paint or something for concrete.
Okay.
And I will tell you, these gallons of paint run $60 to $70.
Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh.
And we use Benjamin Moore for all the paint, and that's how expensive it is.
Yeah. Well,
Keith, go ahead.
You're good paint. If you're going to do it, and the cheap paint isn't too much cheaper. So I always say, if you're going to paint, get the best stuff you can.
Yeah, and I'll throw this in there. You see the blue paint on the floor?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the second color that we put down. The first color was called Jamestown Blue that we got, and it looked really nice on the little.
Not to be confused with Johnstown Red, right? Because that's a little different. Punch.
Excellent. Okay, so the Jamestown Blue looked really nice on the little sample that we got. I painted the entire edging around, kind of around where the screen is on the outside.
Uh-huh.
And we discovered that it kind of looked like a pool paint on the concrete.
Okay. Yeah.
So Stephanie took it back. The guy tried to, mix it, make it a little bit darker. It still wasn't right. So we said, you know what? I'm just going to give you a whole entire different gallon of paint.
Wow.
So we switched it out without charging us and gave us the color that you see now.
Wow, I'm kidding.
The darker blue. Yeah. So, when you go to the smaller paint shops, they can kind of do things more for you like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you have that.
Nice.
Got more pictures.
Very, very nice.
The little trim pieces that we talked about last week, Keith, the little trim pieces.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Those are PVS. They're not wood.
Not PVC. PVS.
PVC. Sorry, PVC.
Okay.
So those will not rot. I had a lot of rot with the old ones.
The paint, you didn't have any problem with the paint on that, though. You said you had a
we
problem
primed them and put 2 coats of paint on them.
Okay. Oh, that's great. They'll last forever.
Yeah.
Right.
But those things are $6 a piece.
Yep.
Those strips. So, we're walking out of Home Depot with $115 of just those little PVC strips.
Yeah, all the stuff you see on this old house, and all the latest, greatest. That stuff is very, very. They make actual uh, clapboards. Clapboards out of that cementatious kind of stuff, and it is incredible. It'll last 1,000 years, but it is incredibly expensive.
I know.
But again, you're going to do that once. You're not going to have to do that again. That porch is going to be.
Yeah, hopefully it's the last time doing this for
quiet. When you downsize and you sell me the porch, it'll be as good as that. Love that porch, y'all. All right, what else is going on?
All right, so the last thing I want to say here, Keith, is that we did have a leaky roof, and so I had to patch the ceiling in here, which I forgot to take pictures of. But then we put a paint up there that does have kind of a gloss on it, which you don't normally put a glossy paint on a ceiling. Because it kind of looks like an ice skating rink. But we decided to put it up here. It's a small ceiling. We had the paint. It's something we got out of the basement. So it turned out pretty good. So
okay. And it's outside,
Yeah. And it does brighten it up some.
Yeah. Right.
So that was our porch redo, my friend.
Nice. Very good.
So we're back. The wood filler. Yeah, I can take. You know what, Patty? How about I send you a picture of the wood filler? I'll send that to you. That's Bondo, called Bondo wood filler.
Joel, sounds like something.
Say it again.
It sounds like something you could put on the Smack and Jack. What's the other site you have? Smack and Jack project page or whatever.
Product page.
Yeah, product. Yeah, with all your spare time. Review on that stuff.
Patty, the screen. Let's go back here since there are a couple questions. Let me show you what we did with the screen if I can get it. Okay, so the screen we actually stapled to the 4x4s. Okay, so let's say that we're on the outside of this, Keith.
Mm-hmm.
The screen is actually stapled to this 2x4.
Right.
I'm sorry, 4x4. Okay, it's stapled to that. And then after the screen is already up, then we go back and then place over these trim PVC pieces to cover up the staples.
Right. Stretch the screen over the frame, and then you're covering that up just to cover the staples and make
exactly. Yeah, so we're not stapling to the PVC. So I hope that answers your question. So we staple to the 2x4s and the 4x4s, and then we put on the PVC.
Right, you're not making, maybe what you were thinking, you're making a frame out of the PVC and putting those into the opening. So you're actually.
This is just like a covering.
Yes, right. You're attaching the screen to the structure.
Yeah, there's 4x4s and 2x4s, and then we cover it up. All right, now happy to go over more about that. Oops, in person if you want.
And how tight do you make? Not that we're going to belabor this forever, but I remember doing it down at the house in Maryland, and when I got done stretching, it's like you see a little buckle here, you pull a little tighter, you see a little buckle, and by the time I got done, that's what the screen sounded like. And then when the wind would blow or something like that, it sounded like bongos, Problem is that if it's too tight, then you're worried about if it either dries up a little bit or something like that.
It really helps with two people.
Yes.
Yeah, because I would start the stapling, and Steph would make sure it's nice and tight on the one side, and I'd staple down here. We kind of work our way over it. It definitely, having two people helps there.
Yes. Yeah, they're big openings that you have too. There on the.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So, what's next on the agenda there, Keith?
I don't know, but I know we're waiting on. Hold on a second.
Waiting on some answers. All right. So, if you're getting any value out of this show, we'd love for you to smack the like button, love the love button. Give us
Tell all your friends what you do on a Saturday morning. And
don't forget to check out smackandjack.com. I have been working on that this week, updating some of the products and so forth there. So take a look there. And I will say last week we got a number of different shares. So thank you. Thanks for doing that. We appreciate that. We love to have new people on kind of checking out what we're doing here. All right, Keith. Should we do the trivia and then come back to what happened to my leg?
Yeah, let's do that. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to our screen share. And
My reading trivia today on the Apollo 11 mission. Ooh, can we make that bigger? Can I make that bigger? I don't know if I can make it bigger.
actually, I can. Hold on. Let's do it this way.
Uncle Keith can barely see as is, and
Is that a little better?
yeah. Well, no, but okay. You ready? On the Apollo 11 moon mission, which astronauts stayed aloft in the command module while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon?
This is one I should probably know.
I think Sting, maybe, because he was writing that song, Walking on the Moon. I think it was Sting. We're not supposed to answer yet. I'm sorry. Which U.S. president made the first telephone call to the moon? Oh.
Yeah, good question there, huh? I like that one.
Okay.
Let's do 3 more. This is number 3, folks. Number 3.
Mare Tranquillities is the Latin name for what feature found on the Earth's moon? Mare Tranquillities. Okay. Oh, I know what that is. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. Who was the last man to walk on the moon? Maybe that was Sting. Damn it, I did it again. I mean, darn it. In what year did Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin land on the moon? I'm starting to notice a pattern here, Joe. Are we talking? Is this all moon trivia today?
It is all moon trivia because when I checked out the trivia for today, it was almost all the same as last week.
Okay,
so I thought, you know what, let's just go all moon today because I like.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Moon was feeling a little lonely, so we'll come back to that trivia. We had 5 different questions. Keith, you ready for jokes, or do you want to do this day in history?
Let's find out. Can we find out what happened to your leg? For crying out loud!
You want to do that now?
What? We're gonna wait till the end of the show, or what? When are you?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's. I mean,
what kind of responses we have there, Keith? You want to check the responses?
I saw number 2. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a couple of 2s. Jim Bress at 3. Yeah, we had a couple of 2s and 3. No number 1s though. And I'm going to.
What are you going to hazard to say?
Well, Lola's just. I can't see Lola scratching anybody. Is she just the sweetest thing? And I can't see you getting close enough to her to let her scratch you anyway. So I'm gonna take that one right off. And I'm probably gonna say I'm gonna go with number 2, Joel.
Okay, number 2.
We're talking about the screen. Yeah.
Okay, so which area really happened? Yeah, I was down by cutting the grass with the forsythia. I had a nail scratch me on the door. I have a cat named Lola. Let's find out what happened here. Survey says, ready for this, Keith? Ready for this?
Hold on.
Got a drum roll?
Oh, no kidding.
Named Lola.
Oh.
All right. So
Wow.
The other night, it must have been around midnight. I was sound asleep. And, she often sleeps right between Stephanie and me. You see her, that's where she is right there. And I felt her jump literally between my legs to jump off the bed. And apparently her back nails must have gotten me, but both legs have a scratch on them.
Wow.
So that kind of woke me up a little bit. And then about an hour later, I woke up because both legs were like screaming, burning.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. So I got up, I put some spray on it and all that stuff. And I was like, holy moly.
Goodness.
So that was our big fluffy cat, Lola, who scratched me whilst I was sleeping.
Quiet Lola, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a sweet cat, but man, that hurt. That really hurt.
Yeah. So. I can. All righty.
All right, Keith. Let's do jokes. This day in history, trivia answers. We got to get out of here.
Okay, let's do it, Joel. Let's do it.
Okay. So joke number 1. Joke number 1. What are we doing? Why did the boy eat the lamp?
Why?
His mother told him to have a light snack. What
man.
is a soda machine's favorite dance?
What?
The can.
Oh, yes. Woo!
What do you throw out when you need it and take it when you don't need it?
I don't know.
An anchor.
Very good. We're actually
Last one. Hold your laughs, folks. We have one more.
okay.
What driver doesn't need a license?
What?
A screwdriver.
Oh! Is it
All right,
me?
Keith, what do you got? This day in history.
Is it me or are those jokes just getting funnier?
Oh, I think they're getting funnier and funnier as we're getting older.
Funny. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that's
I got
amazing.
a couple things. Let's see if I can find them before I delete everything. This day in. Do you have the audio there?
Yeah, sorry.
Whoosh.
Now, Mike and Jack, this day in history.
All right, you're on, brother.
Yeah. This day in 2000, France Concorde crashed.
Ooh,
Supersonic jet. Remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
New York crashed on takeoff in Paris, killing everyone on board plus 4 on the ground. And that was the end of supersonic travel. As
And
we
they
know.
haven't flown them since?
No, nope. They just all around. I watched a program on it once, and all around, it was just too expensive. They didn't have enough of the planes, the parts, the fuel just to push that thing at Mach 2, I think.
Yeah.
Just a swimming pool every 2 minutes, I think, something like that. And
Wow.
it turns out even people that had tons of money,
Couldn't fly them, yeah.
and the seats were tiny. Apparently, there was, it was all first class, but it was like flying a coach, apparently. And
Yeah.
even people with a lot of money would rather take a little bit more time and be a little bit more comfortable. So, yeah, that's something. I remember that. 1943, Benito Mussolini was forced from office after dictator for 21 years. Isn't that something?
Wow. Okay.
Dictated Italy for 21 years. And I tell you what, that wasn't the worst day. He had his wife, I think it was his wife, it was a woman. Yeah, they were when the Italians finally got a hold of them, they weren't very happy.
Yeah.
They're very disturbing. So remember that when you become a dictator there, what's his name? D something or whatever. 1969. And I thought we talked about this last week. Senator Edward Kennedy pleads guilty to leaving the scene of a crime when he drove off the bridge at Chappaquiddick, and his girlfriend, Mary Jo Kopechne, drowned. And he took off. He said, hey, I don't know. So he pled guilty. The Kennedys were very wealthy, but they were plagued with a lot of bad luck or bad stuff. I think I have one more. 1978. Oh, yes. Britain has its first test tube baby. Lindsey Brown gave birth to the world's first test tube baby, in vitro fertilization, delivered by cesarean section in Oldham, England. Dr. Patrick Steptoe and Dr. Robert Edwards developed the process to conceive a child in a laboratory and then plant it into a uterus to develop normally. 1978. Now I wonder if we know who this person is. I mean, there's got to be,
Right, the actual person, yeah.
Joe Tube or something like that, Anything. That's what happened this day in history, Joel.
Right.
Yeah.
Good job, Keith. All right, let's go find out our trivia answers.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
We've already discovered the main trivia for today, but let's go to our secondary trivia questions. All right.
Okay.
Okay. What answers we have there, Keith? I think our it seems like our lag time today is pretty long. Meaning,
is it?
Between us and Facebook? Yeah.
Is it?
But that's fine because I see a lot of questions, see a lot of answers there. Okay. So on the Apollo 11 moon mission, which astronaut stayed aloft in the command module while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walk on the moon? Who do you think that is, Keith?
I cannot think of. Hey, Sophie. Oh, goodness sakes.
Yeah, I can't remember either, but here goes. Michael Collins.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Later to show up in forget it. I had a joke, but I couldn't remember. So it's not going to be funny to you.
It's a pretty common name. All right.
Yeah.
Number 2. This is number 2. Which U.S. president made the first telephone call to the moon?
Well, it's got to be the guy from after Kennedy. Who was that?
I was thinking Johnson, but
Yeah, Johnson.
Nixon. I was going to say Nixon. But I didn't think,
Okay.
didn't know if he was still in office by then. All right. Mare Tranquillitatis is a Latin name for what feature found on Earth's moon?
The Sea of Tranquility.
That's what I'm going to say. Let's
Barbara
see.
says 3. Let me see who else we.
Sea of Tranquility. Anybody get that one?
Barbara got it. That's about all I see, I think.
Okay. And who was the last man to walk on the moon?
I don't know that, man. I don't think.
Eugene Cernan? Yeah, that name doesn't ring a bell at all. Back there in the 70s, I guess. Right? Did we do the next one, Keith? And what year did Neil Armstrong? What did we do that one?
What,
must have.
no. What year do you know? Yes. Land on the moon. What year?
Okay.
It was 1969.
I think 1969. That was a very good year.
Oh.
That was a very good year. Yeah. And that. Did we do the next one?
No, but I think.
Let's do the last one here.
Okay.
How many people have walked on the moon? I'm going to say 8. 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a lot of footprints up there.
That's a lot of footprints. I wonder if they sweep the deck.
All right.
That's it, Keith. We got to get out of here.
I'm exhausted. I don't know why. Last week I had plenty of energy. Some people say I had a little bit too much coffee. I don't know. This year, this time I had the same amount of coffee, and I'm just bushed. So
Time for that.
next week, I'm not sure, Joel. Somebody's finally, after 57 years of life on the planet, is getting a full-time job.
Ooh. Do you dare to share here?
No. It's just well, I've had haven't had to have a job in my whole life, and I'm still going to be doing the framing thing. It's just this year's kind of tough, and
I think that's something, right?
So anyhow, I'm not quite sure about next week, but we'll let you know.
Okay.
We're at a different shop next week and all that. So anyway, have a great week, everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Your last minute, Joel. Say something. Thanks.
Well, thanks for joining us today, folks. And we will let you know when we're coming back on next. So we'll take a break next week, it looks, and then might need to modify a schedule a little bit so that we can accommodate Brother Keith, and we'll go from there.
Okay, sounds great. Remember, you deserve a thought of your own.
So be in touch to learn, laugh, and live. And we'll see you later, folks.
See you soon, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
All right.